In a time not so long ago, there was a man of Jewish faith by the name of Menechem, who was also the wealthiest, the richest merchant in all the land. Menechem had, for the most part, all that any man could want. But he had one wish, and that wish was that he could marry his only beloved and beautiful daughter Rachel to an illustrious, renowned scholar. But the beautiful Rachel had fallen in love with a poor, illiterate shepherd by the name of Akiva. And every day Rachel would pack a little picnic basket and go up to where Akiva was looking after his flock. And she would lie with her head in his lap while he stroked her beautiful hair, and they shared the words of love that are used by lovers. But one day, when Akiva was sharing this love with the beautiful Rachel, an overwhelming flood came over him, and he said, "Rachel, I love you with all of my heart. Will you marry me?" Now, Rachel not only loved Akiva, but somehow she knew the depths of his soul. And she stood up, and she looked in Akiva's eyes, and she said, "Yes, I will marry you if you will make me a promise." "Oh," said Akiva, "I love you with all of my heart. I will do whatever you ask of me." And Rachel said, "Then, if we are blessed with a son, I ask you to promise me that you will go to school with him and learn the Torah." Now, Akiva said, But I'm a grown man. How can I go to school?" And with that, Rachel touched him on the cheek, and she said, "Akiva, do you love me?" And he responded, "I love you with all of my heart. I will do whatever you ask of me." So Rachel and Akiva were married in secret. But when their marriage came to the ears of Menechem, he was totally affronted. He said to Rachel, "Never, ever put a foot inside my door again." And so Rachel went to live with Akiva in a barn. They were very poor, but their love sustained them. And after some time, Rachel gave birth to a son. When the son was 3 years old, Rachel said, "Now it is time for our son to go to school to learn the Torah, and it is time for you to fulfill the promise that you made to me. "Oh," said Akiva, hoping that Rachel had forgotten this request, "but I'm an adult. How can I go to school?" Rachel touched him on the cheek and said, "Akiva, do you love me?" And Akiva said, "I love you with all of my heart. I will fulfill my promise." So Akiva went to school with his son. He sat at a tiny desk on a tiny chair, and he learned several words of the alphabet. He went back after several days and he said to Rachel, "Well, I've learned the Aleph and the Bet, so I don't have to go to school anymore." She touched him on the cheek and said, "Akiva, do you love me?" "Oh, yes, with all of my heart." "Then go to school and learn the rest of the alphabet." So Akiva went to school for a year, and he learned the alphabet. And then he said to Rachel, "I've learned the alphabet. I don't have to go to school anymore." And again she touched his cheek and asked him, did he love her? So Akiva went back to school. He went back to school for 7 years, and he learned the Torah. Then he said to Rachel, "I now know the Torah. I have no need to attend school." And again she touched his cheek, asked him, did he love her? And when he again said, "Yes, with all my heart," Rachel said, "Well, go and learn from the great teachers." And so Akiva left his house for another 7 years. After this time, Akiva had become a renowned and a sought-after rabbi. He traveled from place to place, from town to town, to city, people flocking to him for his blessings and his wisdom. And then one day, Akiva found himself back in his home village. Many people came, as was the custom, with gifts in exchange for the blessings that he would give. Amongst them was Rachel, bearing a small gift. But as was the custom in those days, Rachel kept her eyes downcast in the presence of men, so she did not look up into the face of Rabbi Akiva. But Akiva looked at her and said, "Why do you bring me such a small gift?" And her eyes still downcast, Rachel said, "I am poor. I sent my husband on a quest because I recognized the depth of his soul and felt it was my responsibility. And so I am poor." Rabbi Akiva touched Rachel's cheek and said, Rachel, do you love me? And with that, Rachel looked up into the eyes of her beloved husband, tears flowing down their cheeks. And in Akiva, Rabbi Akiva, a love so great, greater than he had ever known, rose up from his heart. Now it so happened that one of those in the many who came to line up with gifts for Rabbi Akiva was none other than Menechem, Rachel's father, bearing the gift of an almost priceless tiara filled with gems. And when he passed this gift to Rabbi Akiva said, "Why do you bring me such a valuable gift?" And Menechem said, "I seek your blessing. For many, many years I have had great sorrow and regret. I sent my beloved daughter away and have lived with longing for her in my heart ever since. She went to marry an illiterate shepherd, and my wish for her was to marry an illustrious scholar." Now Rabbi Akiva looked at Menechem and said, "What if your daughter had indeed married an illustrious scholar?" And Menechem replied, "He was but an illiterate shepherd." Rabbi Akiva looked into the eyes of Menechem and said, "I am that illiterate shepherd. Go, embrace your beloved daughter. Welcome her to your home once again." We know the end of this story. But before the question is asked, if anyone is wanting to go and attend the gathering with Renee and her partner, I think it's time to leave now. Thank you, Gabby. The question that arises from this story is, what do these characters represent for us? What does this Torah mean? Rachel, Akiva, Menechem, teaching, learning. What's the deep meaning of this story for us? The elements of love, longing, the quest, the encouragement, the insights, What's the deep meaning of this story for you?
We all start as illiterate shepherds, and it's love that drives you on.
Yes, indeed. We're all illiterate shepherds, and it's love that drives us on, is what Iñaki has said. What is its meaning for you?
I think it's a meaning for me which may not be that deep. It's that love can seem like love, but sometimes it's self-interest.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the father's love was not a recognition of what was right for his daughter. It was what he wanted to see for his daughter, where her love was to give up whatever she had to give up to allow her husband to be who he could be.
He could be, yes. So if we look at these elements of these stories as being aspects of our psyche, we can get an insight into those things that create the scenario, the possibility of us arriving at this place of integrated harmony and whatever name we like to call it, realization, wisdom, knowledge, oneness with God. So to analyze these elements allows us to recognize that everything in our life has been an instrument of one purpose and one purpose alone. But what does it mean? What this goal of being a scholar of the Torah, what does it mean for us? Why was it that for Menechem, his wish was to have his daughter marry an illustrious scholar?
In that context, is it someone who knows God deeply?
Deeply, yes. Wouldn't you say it's sad, isn't it?
So for Menechem, the Torah, or the scholarliness, was about knowledge,
Yes,
which he valued.
yes.
For the guy with the shepherd, who I can't suddenly get his name,
Akiva, yes.
Akiva, he didn't actually know the value of knowledge, and when he found it, he discovered truth.
Yes,
And of course, the truth is about ourselves and who we are,
uh-huh,
and that is love.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So the whole story is about the return to love, from love of one kind to love of this other kind. And as you were saying, love is the question, and love is the answer.
answer, yes, right, right.
In wanting to marry the illustrious scholar at the beginning, if they're all aspects of the psyche, it's in a sense, desire to have that great depth straight away, whereas there is maybe a learning process to it and an aspect of suffering. Of that it would have been a sense of suffering to be clear and to go through that process. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yes, 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 yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you.